that awareness now to the tips of your lips. Inhale it up through your nose, exhale it out the mouth, and bring it to the back of your throat. Move it down the throat space and let it center into the heart. Take a deep breath here and press the back of the heart into the mat, the block or the cushion. When you take your next breath, widen through the sides of the ribs. And on this third inhale, find the heart space rising from the top of the body. Soften the breath, soften the chest, and let the awareness move down the body, arriving into the belly. Finding 3 deep breaths here where the belly rises up as you inhale, softly falling. Using the body to move the breath. Inhale, rising up, expanding the belly. Exhale, softening, collapsing, letting it go. And taking one more breath here. Find the awareness again, moving downward, this time sort of flooding into the pelvis like a wave, beginning to run left to right, right to left, washing through the pelvis. Allow that water, that wash of breath to sort of spiral down into the very base of the spine. Breathing here. As you come into your next inhale, draw the awareness across the center line and come into your right hip. Breathe in, out, around, and down through the hip. Allow the awareness to run down the leg, draping the femur, cascading down the hamstring until you arrive into the right knee. Let the awareness dance here. In, out, around, through the right knee. And gently let this awareness fall down the calf, down the chin, shin, and into the right ankle. Find some space, find some awareness here into that right ankle. And allow the awareness to run down now through the heel. Let it spill and soften into the arch and into the ball of the foot. And bring your focus now into the big toe on your right foot. And then to the second toe on your right foot. Breathing then into the third toe, the fourth toe, and finally that pinky toe, that little toe, that baby toe. Draw the awareness, the information, the data. Draw it up from the toes, into the balls of the feet, up the arches, charge it back up through the heels, and breathe into your right ankle. Find that awareness continuing to draw up from the ankle, up through the calf, through the shin, returning into the right knee. Move the awareness, the breath, the energy up the thigh, bringing it back into the right hip. Allowing again that awareness, that breath, that data to process, to download. And now, as though it's a tab on your browser, cut it off, close it out, detach from your right leg. Move the awareness across the right hip, across center line, and now into the left hip. Bring that awareness, that energy in, out, around, through, like a floss, like a ribbon, dancing into that hip space. Let the awareness run down that left leg, releasing the quad, cascading down the hamstring until it arrives into the knee. Bring the awareness here, in, out, through, around. Allow that awareness to run softly down the rest of the leg, the calf and the shin, until you're into the left ankle. Find some space. Charge that energy down through the heel. Let it spill into the arch, rest into the balls of the feet. And find your awareness now into that big toe on the left foot. Breathe now into the second toe on the left foot and the third. Now the awareness is on the fourth toe of the left foot. I'm finally bringing the breath, bringing energy into the pinky toe of the left foot. Draw the energy up from all the toes on the left foot, through the ball of the foot, up the arch, charge it into the heel, and return it into the left ankle. Breathing here. Continuing to draw this bodily information up the leg, up the calf and shin until you arrive at the left knee. Again, taking a moment here to pause, to use the breath to release the joint. Find the breath continuing to move upward on that left side, through the thigh, returning into the left hip. Allow the breath to come through the backside of the body and release and relax the sacrum. Maybe coming back into that wave of left to right and right to left. Centering, focusing this breath now to the base of the spine, to the coccyx. Moving it up to the center of the pelvis. And finding a release with the left leg. Finding a tab that we're closing, detaching from the feeling of our lower left side. Drawing that awareness into the center and up into the navel, up into the heart space, and breathing it across center line into the right shoulder. Moving it down that arm, softening the muscles, arriving into the right elbow. Breathing here, in, out, and around. Letting the weight, letting the breath come into the forearm. Breathing through the wrist of the right arm. Let that energy soften and spill into the palm of the right hand. Begin to focus on the thumb of your right hand and now the index finger of your right hand. Bring the awareness in the middle finger of your right hand and the ring finger. Finally, the pinky finger. Draw the awareness up through the fingertips, the information back into the palm. Charge it back up into the wrist. Breathe it up through the forearm and into the right elbow. And harness that awareness all the way up to the top of the right shoulder. Finding a sense of integration. And now closing the tab on that right arm, detaching from that side, moving the awareness into the center line at the center of the sternum, transferring it to the left shoulder, breathing through this space, in, out, around, and through, down through the arm, softening the muscles, focusing in on that left elbow. Allowing the energy and the breath to run into the left forearm and focus now into the left wrist. Let this awareness soften and spill into the hand, into the palm of your left hand, and focus now into the left thumb. Move the awareness into the index finger on the left hand and now the middle finger. Breathe into the ring finger of the left hand, and finally the pinky finger of the left hand. Draw the awareness up from all 5 of those fingers, back into the palm, charge it up into the wrist. Breathe it up through the forearm, focusing back into the left elbow. Continuing to draw the awareness through the arm, arriving back at the top of the left shoulder. Allow a moment for that work, that awareness, that information to integrate. And close the tab of your left arm. Detach. Draw the awareness back into the center of the heart space. Take a breath into the back of the mat like we did before. Soften. Take a breath into the sides of the ribs like we did before. And soften. And on this third breath, draw the heart up and soften. Come into the throat space. Bring the awareness into the very back of the throat. Start to move the breath in a circular, clockwise direction and pattern. Find the breath, find the awareness, opening the throat space. And as you take a swallow, find the body closing the tab. Find the mind closing the tab on the core. Drawing the awareness just up into the head space. Move the awareness back in to the third eye. Draw it up to the top of the crown. Find a breath here. Find an escape of prana like the soft spot you arrived with. Inhale here completely and exhale here. Inhaling and exhaling. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Move that awareness softly from the crown, through the third eye, and let this awareness now rest into the very back of the eyelids, coming into that Chitta Vita space we started with this morning. Coming into a sense of stillness. And taking a few moments here in silence. Begin to acclimate back into the body. Bring the data back into the hardware. Wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, hands and feet. Remembering where we are, who we are, what we're wearing, what day it is, what time it is. Letting that data re-download. It's like a little update. Take any breath, any movement that feels serving to you. When you feel ready, begin to roll on either side. Any side is fine. We were very still. Once you roll, though, begin to come up into a seat. And just take a moment to take a few deep breaths just to sort of begin to integrate sitting this way. Drawing the awareness outside of the body. Yeah. Nidras are good, yeah? So any feedback from that? It's pretty good. Julia liked it. Yeah, I'm sure all of you, it seemed, fell asleep, or most of you fell asleep at one point or time, right? Yeah. I used to say in class, so I often will give a Nidra like that in a Shavasana class, during Shavasana, in a Vinyasa class, in a Hatha class, any class really, even Yin. But clients will be like, I really liked that. I don't usually like meditating. It's not meditating. It's not technically that limb. That's where we talk about, mindfulness and meditation. We sort of are interchanging all these words as though they're not sequenced and they don't have sort of a path, and they do. It's not that you can't kind of dance around, take some shortcuts, but you might find a shortcut means you're detouring back where you started. So, yeah. Anybody want to share anything else? If you fell asleep, it's normal. So if you notice, as you're saying it or as you practice it, the script more or less is in your book. If you notice, like, the right thumb, the index finger on your right hand, the index finger on your, why am I saying right every time? Or most times. Sometimes I just skip it because it's driving me nuts, but why? Like maybe the 2 fingers I might skip right here and say then your right ring and your right pinky. Why am I saying it so explicitly, right side, right side, right side?
So we're not drifting away from that.
Yeah. Or if you came back, what side is she on? You know, if you fall asleep, what leg is she on? I'm telling you almost every body part, every part along that leg, which leg I'm on for the people who are coming in and out of it. So that's why it might feel maybe a bit laboring for the person saying it. And then even for the person who isn't coming in and out of consciousness, it sort of is just, again, that awareness, like it's reinforced with the power of sound that it's right side, right arm, right arm. So I found it was hard to just, it's like, hi, I'm on the right side. Why do I have to say right finger, index finger, right middle finger, right ring finger? But it's for that purpose of the people who are coming in and out, and then to just keep the energy all to that side. And if maybe they notice because your eyes were open, but I'm like this, right hip. Like I'm talking when I'm talking to you because I'm walking around, I'm turning around and I'm seeing people and how they adjust or move. You know, sometimes someone moves the other side that I'm working on, it'll get me confused. Why did they do that? And I have to think. So I'm literally walking with my hand on the right side or my hand on the left side when I'm talking about the hips, and then same thing, I'll be holding my just so that I know, because you're also gathering data at that time. So I'm gathering a whole bunch of data from the data you're gathering. Did we get that idea? You know, that's the Dharma Mitra. The 61 points has been around for a little bit, but that idea of, you know, we are just vessels. If you believe in this sort of karmic value that we have, we're just essentially able to then transfer consciousness to a different hard drive, a different entity. So that idea too of just, even if you don't believe that, just shutting down certain aspects of the body so that you can have more, like a faster processor, right? Just like the computer. All right. Any questions? Yeah.
Just a short one, because when I did, like, I once did an MBSR
Mm-hmm.
training, and then it was kind of, the aim was not to fall asleep. And now I'm
You're tired and we're...
the very last bit I fell asleep,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't remember you telling the story, like the stories, you know. So I know that I haven't, but then it was like always, you were always almost scared of, you know, it was almost a pressure.
To not fall asleep?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You know, I've been trained that it's okay to fall asleep. It's not the goal.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know.
Where Shavasana, I don't want you to fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's actually a little, you know, that's a little different. But we also say that it could be like likened to that lucid dreaming. So this is like a technique too that people who are trying to lucid dream, learn to lucid dream, this is a technique that they use. And it's releasing a storage of chemicals, one of which is a natural reserve of DMT in the brain. So that's where you might have had like visions or felt for a moment you were in different spaces or places or time. That's a natural response to just relaxing, again, the nervous system. Because remember how we talked about how the muscles are coded to talk to the body more. So we're getting more into the body, as Catherine said, to really relax. And when we can relax the mind, then the mind can start playing. You know, either putting us to sleep, relaxing us, giving us cool visuals, giving us like a feeling, a sensation of being elsewhere.